perhaps a dozen times over the course of the campaign, and it becomes incredibly tedious. It wouldn't be so bad to have these same tasks repeated if they weren't all so unbelievably boring. I can appreciate that one way to gain information is to sit on a bench and listen into conversations. I'm sure if Altair really existed during the Third Crusade, he would have used this tactic at least once to get the 411 on a target. But that doesn't exactly make for a great game. In fact, that never makes for a great game. Here, sit and do nothing. All the while you are forced to listen to the sometimes heavy-handed messages from sleazebags and would-be prophets. The assassinations themselves are well done for the most part and enjoyable. Almost every assassination allows for a stealthy approach, or for a direct attack. The choice is yours, though often attempts at stealth fail, turning assassination missions into nothing more than brawls. Before you can even attempt an assassination, you must first witness a prolonged cutscene, where the target shows that he is a villain and is worthy of murder. At some point, it would be nice to be the assassin who shoves a knife in the throat of a long-winded politician. After you are freed from the cutscene, you must stalk your target. In early missions, this is often quick, with the assassination coming in mere seconds. Later on, you will need to sneak into more fortified areas, and the assassinations take considerably longer. Once your target is killed, you are forced into an extensive conversation with the victim. Each one says the same thing: you're being tricked. They may say it with more flowery dialogue, but the message is always the same. I didn't know it was possible for a game to be in love with its own words, but Assassin's Creed is indeed in love with the sound of its own voice. I like a great story, but Assassin's moves far too slowly for its own good. Killing old rich men is always fun. And the main assassinations are one of the stronger elements of Assassin's Creed, even if it does lead to prolonged babble. Once you off one of the city's fat cats, the guards will be notified to your presence. You need to run, though you could fight your way through the city, if you like. The best option is to find some elevation and do some rooftop free running. Your goal is the Assassin's Bureau, which can't be entered while you are being chased. So on your way to the Bureau, you must ditch your opponents. To do this, you need to break their line of sight, and then hide in one of the city's many conveniently placed piles of hay. Guards are persistent, especially when the city is on the alert, which occurs following any key assassination. They climb ladders, hop up on roofs, throw rocks, and shoot arrows when you are too far to catch, but they are never too difficult to ditch. The chase, though, is enjoyable. These chases happen at other points in Assassin's Creed away from the main assassinations. You are free to do as you please in the city, even take out every guard you pass, but you generally don't want to make a scene. In the upper left corner of the screen is a helpful meter showing the awareness of guards in the city. White means they are unaware of your presence, yellow indicates they are suspicious, and red shows when the guards are alerted. As the awareness meter moves from white to red, it takes fewer actions to tip the guards off to your location and give them reason to fight or give chase. This can get annoying in the latter parts of Assassin's Creed, as you are often forced to move at a snail's pace to get from one end of town to the other without being seen. The good news for those who hate being stealthy is that the RE is pretty terrible. If you stick to the rooftops, you can get away with quite a lot. The guards on the roofs are plentiful, but dumb as bricks. If you are spotted, they will put hand to sword or raise their bow and warn you that you are not supposed to be on the roof. If you have a throwing knife handy, you can kill them from afar with the tap of a button. You can also leap pretty far for a loud assassination, since the guards tend not to hear anything, so long as you are not performing this cinematic kill in the view of another guard, you should be fine, or you could just drop off the edge of the roof. The guard won't think twice about the fact that you're just hanging on the ledge. Once he turns, you can pull yourself up and shove a knife through his back. Even when the town is on full alert, many of the rooftop guards remain in their eye pattern. Altair is leaping from roof to roof as dozens of men scream for someone to stop him. The guard on the roof turns during his eye routine and sees this. He puts hand to sword and warns, "You're not supposed to be," and then you knife him and move on. Good eye is crucial for a good stealth game. Assassin's Creed has some subpar eye. Should you be caught, or if you just get bored, Altair can hold his own in combat. At first glance, the combat system seems simple. It is, after all, little more than holding down a trigger to guard and pressing a single button to attack. But the combat is rhythm-based. In fact, as someone else pointed out to me, it is almost like a dancing mini-game. If you learn the rhythm, you can completely dominate with some impressive kill animations that never get old. If you mash buttons, you will likely find the combat frustrating and dumb. The combat is not intuitive. There is nothing telling you that this is DDR for assassins. You have to figure that out on your own. Or, I suppose, many will dislike the combat system, but I found it to be enjoyable. It doesn't hurt that the animation system in Assassin's Creed is top-notch. Half the fun of fighting is seeing the slick moves of Altair. His motions are fluid. It's like watching a ballerina with a sword. Seeing Altair climb a building is a real treat too. His body has weight, his movements are lifelike. His ascension is sometimes a struggle, though a proper one, to reach higher elevation. The cities, as I stated earlier, are truly remarkable pieces of art. These big open worlds, which are fully interactive, do come at a severe cost. On PS3 there is considerable texture pop and noticeable frame rate issues. Playing back-to-back with the 360 version, it's obvious that Ubisoft did not devote enough resources to the PS3 edition. The frame rate is considerably worse, so much so that it begins to affect gameplay in the later levels. You can get through the first two-thirds of Assassin, with the frame rate being just an annoyance, but it becomes more of an issue for the final third of the missions. If Assassin's Creed focused more on its open world, and less on the minutiae, if it was a bit more clever, and a little less pedantic, it could have turned out to be an incredible game. But this is a title that delivers on too little of its potential. There are some baffling design decisions. Though you play as an assassin, the final hour of gameplay devolves into a series of combat exercises. There is no way to be stealthy, and no opportunity to run along the rooftops in these final missions. You fight, and fight, and fight, until you reach the end boss, at which time the game becomes Prince of Persia. Many won't make it that far. Assassin's Creed is too slow and too repetitive. It's a shame, because there are many great things in Assassin's Creed. There just happens to be an equal number of bad things. Closing comments: if you play Assassin's Creed for an hour, you will probably think it's a fantastic game. But as Assassin's progresses, its dual storylines and repetitive quests begin to grow tiresome. There are so many great individual elements, but they are lost among the myriad of poor decisions from Ubisoft Montreal. Wasting the big twist on the first 5 minutes of gameplay is a tremendous mistake, but not nearly as damaging as the ill-conceived assassination investigation quests, which get old fast. The exploration aspects of Assassin's Creed and the combat are both pluses in my book. But those two elements are only a small part of the whole. That's the end of this game review. Peace out. A Town Down.